Hi guys, welcome back to Ash Talks Basketball, and today we are taking the best player from every team and ranking them. And without further ado, let's get into the video. In at 30, I've got Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. He was great for the Spurs this season. I can't give this spot to Victor yet, but I think he will be taking it in the coming years. In at 29, I have Kyle Kuzma. He's been really good for the Washington Wizards, but he just hasn't been able to take that step up because of Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis being in front of him in the Washington Wizards rotation. Now he'll be able to have a breakout season, hopefully, in the Wizards because they've traded away a lot of their good players. With him, Jordan Poole and Tyus Jones leading the way for Washington, I think they'll all be able to have good breakout seasons this year. In at 28, I've got Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. He was a great up-and-coming rookie this year, and has the potential to take big leaps and bounds in the coming years. In at 27, I've got Cade Cunningham, the starting point guard of the Detroit Pistons. In at 26, I've got Fred VanVleet, who recently signed with the Houston Rockets this offseason. In at 25, I've got the up-and-coming point guard LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets. In at 24, I've got Lauri Markkanen of the Utah Jazz. He was great for them this season, and I think he's extremely underrated as a scorer from the power forward position. In at 23, I've got Mikal Bridges, recently traded to the Nets in the Kevin Durant trade last season, and he's been a great defensive wing and the leading scorer for the Brooklyn Nets. In at the 22nd position, I've got Pascal Siakam. He's been really good for the Raptors and one of the most versatile forwards in the league right now, and has been leading the Raptors since Kawhi left in 2019. In at 21, I've got Tyrese Halliburton. He's a great playmaking guard for Indiana and might be able to pull them to their first playoff spot for a while. In at 20, I've got Anthony Edwards. He was the leading scorer for Minnesota and will be their future for the upcoming years. In at 19, I've got Zion Williamson. He's one of the best players in the league when he can stay healthy, but right now, he's here at 19. In at 18, I've got DeMar DeRozan. He was great for the Bulls. He just edged out Zach LaVine for the Bulls position. He's one of the best mid-range scorers in the league and helped the Bulls to an almost playoff spot this season. In at 17, I've got Trae Young. He's an amazing scorer on the offensive end, but two things he has to work on is defense and team leading. But he still led the Atlanta Hawks to the 7th seed. Just playoff success seems to be eluding him right now. In at 16, I have Jalen Brunson. He led the Knicks to a 4th seed and an advancement into the second round, which was great for the Knicks team that we didn't expect much from the start of the season. He was a great scorer, great acquisition in the off-season for the Knicks, and he's going to keep on leading this Knicks team to bigger and better things. In at number 15, I've got De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings. They almost went on a deep playoff run but lost in the first round to the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. It was a great series, and as this young team improves, they're going to go deeper and deeper into the playoffs. In at 14, I've got Kawhi Leonard. He's one of the best defensive wings of all time, and he's been dominating the league for the last 10 years. Just his problem is health and extreme amounts of load management in the last years for the Clippers. If he can get back to his normal self, playing at least 70 games a season, he can be an absolute deadly weapon and could become one of the top 10 players in the NBA. In at 13, I've got Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. He'll be out for the first 25 games, but he's still a force to be reckoned with and will still make the playoffs with the Memphis Grizzlies this year. In at 12, I've got Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. He's one of the best playoff performers in the league. Just his regular season is just not as impressive. That's why I have him here at 12. In at 11, I've got LeBron. He is one of the best players of all time, possibly the GOAT, but he's still starting to fade away into his retirement years. At 38, one of the best 38-year-olds ever in the NBA, still an all-star, still one of the best players in the league. I have him here at 11. In at 10, I've got Damian Lillard of the Trailblazers. He might not be here next season, but he's here now, and I have him here at 10. In at 9, I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's been great for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but they've been struggling to find wins in the last few years. But this year might be it with Chet Holmgren and players like Josh Giddey along with himself, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. In at 8, I've got Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a great player on a great contending team that will be on the rise with all the young players like Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. In at 7, I've got Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. He beats out his teammate Kevin Durant for this spot, but I just think he's been more consistent on the Phoenix Suns. He's been there longer, he's been more consistent, and I have him here at 7. In at 6, I've got Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors, the best three-point shooter of all time, and led his team to the second round against the Lakers this year. In at 5, I got Jason Tatum. He's a great scorer and all-around player for the Boston Celtics, but failed to make it to the NBA Finals after losing a Game 7 to Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. In at 4, I've got Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. One of the best scorers of all time, one of the best offensive players you'll see in a generation. Just one thing he hasn't done yet was win enough games. His playoff record is starting to look bleak as he starts to enter the prime of his career. In at 3, I've got the MVP, Joel Embiid. Although I don't think he deserved it over people like Giannis and Jokic, he still had an MVP caliber season, but he still can't get past the second round. In at 2, I have Giannis of the Milwaukee Bucks. He's considered one of the best players in the world, but failed to get past the first round against the 8th-seeded Miami Heat. In at 1, the best player in the world right now, Nikola Jokic. He led his team to the championships, should have won MVP in my eyes. Easy number 1 spot from the Denver Nuggets. And that's all I have for you today. So thank you for watching the video, and tell me who you think's the best player in the world in the comments down below. And thank you for watching the video, and have a nice day.